Hi everyone, and happy Thursday evening. I'm Miss Judy and it's time for Art Outside the Box. I've got a project that I think is going to be fun tonight, and I really enjoyed doing this. And there's lots of different ways you can approach this, but everybody loves succulents, cactuses right now, and you may or may not have good luck growing them. I have had both, but if you want something colorful to put on your table this time of year, or in your room, we're going to make some cactuses out of paper. So here is what my first attempt came out like, and I thought it turned out pretty good. Lots of different choices for colors you can use for the flowers, for the greens, and you don't need many materials, so that's always nice too. I will gather my things together and we'll get right at it. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's get started. So for materials today, you will need some paper, and I have some cardstock here. I love this bright green, so we're going to use this. You'll also need some paper to make a pattern with, and I just used some paper out of our recycling. You'll need a pencil. You will need some sticky glue, craft glue, Elmer's glue, anything like that. And you'll need a glue stick and a pair of scissors. Also, to finish off your project, you'll need a little pot, or you could actually make one if you wanted to out of cardboard, or use a box that you might have on hand and cover that. So there's lots of possibilities for putting your plant into a container. So the first thing I did, you're going to have to make a pattern for your leaves. So I just took my white recycled paper and I folded it in half, like such. Get this so you can see it here. And then, excuse me, then I just simply, I drew a leaf. A half a leaf, I should say. So you want to cut this out, and this will serve as your pattern because you need to make 6 different sections to complete your plant. So when it's opened up, it'll look like this. All right, so I've already got one that I started. I did go ahead and cut out some of my leaves, but I do need 2 more, so I'll show you how I did that. I just took my cardstock, folded it. You want to try and get the most that you can out of your paper. I was able to get 3 leaves out of each sheet of paper, so that's pretty good. Lay that down on the folded edge and just trace that with your pencil. And then go ahead and cut that out. And we'll need to make 1 more. All right, so we've got 5. And we'll fold this side over. Once again, lay your pattern down. You want these to be as even in the same size as you can get them, and that should be pretty easy when you're using a pattern. So we'll cut this out. And now we have 6 sections, 6 leaves to work with. All right, so here we go. I'm going to separate these. Okay, the next thing you'll want to do is make some of these little, the spines, the little leaves that come out, and that's real simple. I've already got some made, but I'll show you how I did this. You'll just need to have a strip of paper. Here's what I had left over. And then you're just gonna cut these on the diagonal. So you'll end up with little thin triangles. And you'll need quite a few of these. All right, so we've got those ready. All right, so to start out with, you want to keep this folded, and you're going to put a line of glue on the outside edge. Just right along that edge. All right, and then we're going to, these are a little tricky to pick up. We're going to glue these down so they're overhanging. If you wet your finger a little bit, it's easier. And you don't have to space them too evenly. But just go ahead and stick those down, probably about 8 or 9 per section. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to take this glue and I'm going to go along the folded edge and put a line down the middle here because I'm going to glue another piece to this. Okay, so I'm going to match it up top to bottom. Try and get it matched up perfectly here and just press that down. Give it a good crease with your fingers. And here you've got your first section. Okay, so for the next one you're going to do basically the same thing. Put your line of glue here, and you want to stagger these a little bit between the ones that you already did. These are not all the same size, and that's fine because in nature we find that everything differs a little bit. Do a couple more here. I love these bright colors. All right, and then we'll take, once again, the glue stick, go down the edge, and glue your next piece on here. Match up those bottoms really good so it stands up for you. All right, go ahead and spread that out. And you're getting there. See how that stands up nice? All right, so I'm on my last little section to do before I put this all together. So once again, we'll do the same step. We'll just repeat that with these little guys. This takes you a little while, but it's not horribly time consuming, so probably in about 15-20 minutes you'll have one of these done. Put one more here. All right, and this is my last section, so that one's sticking to my fingers. We'll glue this down really well. And separate these. Sometimes you'll get a little glob of glue that'll stick them together. But we look pretty good here. This one's a little stuck. Okay, so you can fan this out and it's standing up pretty well. If you find it's a little wobbly, you can fold it in half and you might have some uneven edges, so just go ahead and trim that up. Got a little bit there to cut off. That should do it. Okay, so next we're gonna make the flower. Now you've got lots of choices here. I did a white flower on this one, but a lot of these cactuses will have bright pink flowers or bright orange flowers. Some of them even actually have two flowers, one on the side and one on the top. But I think what we'll do is go with, I'm gonna try this, this bright pink because I like that color combination with the contrasting colors. So I've got a 2x2 inch square of cardstock, and I'm going to fold that into a triangle. Might have to practice this a couple times, and you can practice it on some scrap paper. All right, and then I'm going to fold it again into a triangle. So this paper's pretty thick. We'll see how this works out. And then here's kind of the tricky part. I'm going to pull these little points up from the sides. So I've got something that looks, that looks kind of like this, if you can see that. And then I'm going to cut through all these layers. So I'm just going to cut these points right off. And this is pretty thick paper. So I'm going to have to do it in 2 swipes here. Okay, we'll see how this came out. It didn't. See, I tell you, you have to learn by your mistakes. Let's go with this. I'm finding out right now you're going to need thinner paper. All right, so that was today's blooper. I think I finally have it figured out now, so let me show you how I did this. Here's what I ended up with, which is exactly what I wanted, this little flower. So I took my 2-inch square, folded it into a triangle, folded it into another triangle, and with the pointed end down, you want to cut your petals. So just start doing a little scallop edge right along the top here. And I did switch scissors too. These are a little bit smaller, and I think that they're working better. So here we go. That's all cut out. So that's gonna look like this. And we'll open it up, and that's what we have. So now I'm gonna just kind of scrunch this together, push my finger down in there and pinch the bottom just to give it a little more fold till it looks like a flower. You might have to work with this a little bit, but you'll get there. I've kind of got it pinched together at the bottom, and then we're just going to take our cactus. This will take a little bit of time to dry, so put yourself a little, pretty good drop of glue right on top, maybe a little bit on the bottom of this, and sit that on there. And like I said, that'll take a little time to dry, but there it is. So the next thing I did, I wanted to put this in a pot. I had this little garden pot at home, but I really didn't want to put dirt in here since we're working with paper. So I just took some brown craft paper and I traced my pot upside down, and then there's a little ridge in here. I don't know if you can see that, but I cut the paper a little bit smaller so it would kind of rest right on that ridge. And then you can set your cactus right down in there. Probably would be a good idea if you're going to be moving it around to take some glue and put on the edges to keep that that steady. But isn't that cool? It almost looks real from far away. I really like how these turned out. Well, that's it for Art Outside the Box tonight, including a blooper for you. Yes, when you're doing new projects, you will make mistakes and goof up, but don't get discouraged. Just keep working at it, and it'll all work out in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this. I like how these turned out, and I think we can find a place for them here in the library. It just adds a nice little touch of green and spring to your home. So you can check us out anytime on Facebook and look at some of our past programs. We also have a YouTube channel, so make sure you tune in there to see what we've got going on. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.